Hi again, everybody. I thought that video would be a great way to share with you all about our effective school-wide discipline program that we're putting in place fully this year. We had a team of teachers meet this summer and we set up all of our plans for how we're going to do things, and this video should walk you through all you need to know about it. So hang tight and let's watch and see what we got. Okay, it seems like this is the logical place to start. This is the shared document, Spring Run Shared Documents 2014-15 that I have shared with everyone. And inside this shared document, we have a folder called Behavior ESD. If you notice, there's folders for lots of different things, schedules, STEAM ideas. And this is where you have one-stop shopping for information, for stuff that we're going to share with you. We're going to try to put it in folders this year and try to make the Google Docs a little more organized. So if you click on Behavior ESD, and then you'll notice a bunch more boxes open up. The first one we're going to look at is the Spring Run Pyramid of Behavior Interventions. And this would be the place to start with because it gives us the triangle or the pyramid of interventions that go along with effective school-wide discipline, or ESD. This has different names. ESD is the name that Virginia uses for this, but PBIS you've heard of also, stands for Positive Behavior Intervention Support, and on a national level that's what this is all about. It's called PBIS. In Virginia it's called ESD, Effective School-Wide Discipline, and for us at Spring Run we're calling it our PAWS program, PAWS. So, enough of acronyms, let's just go through and tell you what's going on inside the pyramid. Okay, so here's that pyramid of interventions we were talking about just a moment ago. I opened it up and posted it here on the wall. The bottom tier is what all kids get all across the school. And the parts that we do across the school are going to be the ESD School-Wide Expectations, or the PAWS program. Part of the PAWS program we just saw with the posters that we see around the school, but also we have these other pieces of it. There's going to be monthly themed lessons and activities on PAWS expectations. For example, we're going to make videos that show what it's like to walk in the hallway, go to the cafeteria, different expectations around the school. There'll be school-wide discipline procedures and consequences, just like we saw last year with our office referral and classroom referral, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. We have our PAWS tickets and our quarterly school-wide PAC meetings. PAWS tickets are going to be over here where the dog is. He's guarding the box right now, but we're going to give you tickets to give out to kids. These tickets can be given out like water. Anytime you see kids doing awesome things, you tell them, hey, great job, here's a PAWS ticket. And they put their name on it and they bring it down to the office and they put it in this box. Once a week, Liz or I are going to pull some names out of this box and call them down to the cafeteria for an afternoon celebration for doing just a job well done. So that's going to be the PAWS tickets. Let's go back to the triangle again and see some other things. So then we've got on there the PAWS tickets. This quarterly school-wide PAC meeting is going to happen where once a quarter we're going to get together with the whole school and celebrate learning. We have some ideas about what that's going to look like, and we'll talk about it later on. We still keep Husky Heroes. We still keep the Principal's Proud bulletin board. Again, for new teachers, that means you submit work to me in my mailbox, and I make a big deal about it on morning announcements, and we hang it up on 2 bulletin boards out around the school. School-wide, we are doing Responsive Classroom. Responsive Classroom we're going to talk about in more detail in this video also. Responsive Classroom is an excellent tool. It comes from Northeast Foundation, and it has to do with, the main part of it is morning meeting. But there's more to Responsive Classroom than just morning meeting. And this year, throughout the year, as part of our professional development opportunities, we're going to be talking more and more about what goes on in a responsive classroom setting. And we'll talk more about logical consequences and interactive modeling as tools you can use to help make your classroom the best it can be. Of course, we always set our school year up with hopes and dreams. hopes and dreams we're going to ask you to create for yourself this year at our first staff meeting. And also we're asking you to make hopes and dreams with your class. These hopes and dreams are going to be stuck together on a piece of large butcher paper for your whole class. And we are going to celebrate our school-wide hopes and dreams at a first pack meeting on Friday afternoon, September 19th, I think is the day. And we'll talk more about that. Of course, you set up your own classroom rules that go along with the school-wide pause expectations. And we have our STEP officer who's coming back again this year. We have our school-wide watchdog program. And we'll talk more about that and some ideas for this year around it. We have parent involvement, PTA events, school counseling programs. We have the Stop Bullying Now prevention program, Peaceful School Bus. All of that goes on in the bottom tier of the triangle, school-wide, everywhere we go, all the classrooms. The middle triangle now gets into tier 2 interventions. This would be when you have the following: a referral to the BAT team, primarily for behavior support. That stands for Behavior Assistance Team. The team this year is comprised of myself, Mrs. Lowe, our school counselors, our school psychologist, and our school social worker. Part of the BAT team's job is to, when there's more than 3 office referrals, or if a teacher feels like a student is in need of a behavior plan, we help create the behavior plan together with the teacher and input from the child's parents. We started these last year. They were very successful, and they help the kids to stay on track. This year, we have some really cool folders that we're going to use along with the pause program with check-in, check-out. So if a kid's on a behavior plan, they're going to use these really cool pause folders to have their check-in, check-out partner. Because last year, if you remember, if you had a student in check-in, check-out, what that means is they basically, as part of their behavior plan, have to check in with a cheerleader who's going to set their goal for the day, give them off with a good cheer, and then they check in with them at the end of the day. Kids earn points, a 0, a 1, a 2, or a 3 for achieving their goal on their check-in, check-out booklets that we track to see how they're doing. The idea of check-in, check-out is to not stay on that program forever, but to work your way off of that program. And when a student does do that, we have a rip-up party and celebrate the fact that they have finished their check-in, check-out program and don't need it anymore. Other things in Tier 2 are to, of course, always to involve parents. We have started a Reading Buddy program to help some kids. We started Girls on the Run last year with Mrs. Creech, and we love to have a guys group this year. We had a boys group last year that I ran, and we would love to have a girls group and a STEAM team. We had a STEAM challenge with upper grades, and I think Mrs. Cario is going to help us do a STEAM team for the grades K through 2. And of course, there's always the idea of a buddy break or a timeout in the neighbor's classroom as a tool, and then there's lots of other things you do for help with behavior concerns, and if need be, we also use school suspensions. The last part of the triangle is that Tier 3, or the behavior plan I mentioned to you, a referral to the office, or a referral to the Office of Student Conduct in Chesterfield County, or to any of the Chesterfield County outside agency assistance. So that's it pretty much. That's a triangle of interventions, Tier 1, 2, and 3. And now we'll move on and talk more about the office referrals and classroom referrals. Okay, so another document in that Google Doc that we worked on with our team this summer was the idea of when do I give a classroom referral and when do I give an office referral. Last year, you might remember, we called these minor versus major. And I think that might have been some of the confusion, was the words minor and major. So this year, we made it pretty simple. We're calling it classroom referral. Those are classroom-based issues and concerns. And then we have office referral. And we're making them pretty simple so they differentiate between the two. So classroom referral is for any time you have any issues in the classroom that you want mom and dad to know about it, and you're going to document it. So you write down the student name, the date, the homeroom teacher, the grade, and the time of the event, where it took place, and then the minor behavior that occurred. For example, teasing, name-calling, something was taken from somebody else, there was a disruption of some kind, and then you're going to just tick off on this paper what you think was the reason why it happened, what they were doing when they did it, and what kind of intervention you did. For example, parent was called, removed from the situation, changed seating, loss of privilege, whatever it might be. And then you keep a copy of this. You keep this. You don't have to turn it into the office at all. This is just for your records. My suggestion would be to keep it in a binder with all of your other student data. By student would be a great way to do that. And then you just hold on to this. This is your documentation. Nothing goes to the office. Now, on the other side of this is the office referral. This is for something that is more major in nature. The kinds of things that we see in school, like fighting, swearing, more things you see in the actual code of conduct booklet that kids should not be doing at school. If you have an office referral to fill out, again, please use the forms that we have. They are all kept right here in this cabinet, right on top, right in this top section right here. There's classroom ones and there's office ones. So please come by and pick those up and make sure you have some for the school year. When you come to the office with an office referral, or student, sorry, comes to the office with a referral, please see Timmy. Here she is now in her desk. Hi, Timmy. How you doing? Oh, she's really quiet today. I'm not sure what's going on. And Kathy, one of the two of them, and say that, and the student will say they're here with an office referral, and then they will walkie-talkie Liz or I to come back to the office. Our number one thing is we want to make sure we talk to the kids right away when they get a referral. We don't want them to be hanging out for a long time over here in these desks and chairs and nobody to come back and see them and they're just sitting here. So again, just see them and they'll walkie-talkie us and we will see them. We will make copies of the office referral for you and we will probably talk to you about what's going on, and then we will make sure that the student is back into class or having a consequence that's appropriate for their actions as to what occurred. We make copies of this office referral and send it home to the parents that day. We also call the parents that day so they know that what has happened and they're aware of the consequences and the actions that occurred. And the student is aware as well. And we keep track of this. We keep all these office referrals in a binder in the office right up here in my desk, and it's called Discipline folder. And we keep them here alphabetically by students' last name. And so this way we can keep track to say, oh, wait a minute, this guy's been here before. Let's think of something else for a consequence now for what's occurred. And so that's pretty much it for the office referrals. And the difference between major and minor are classroom and office. And again, this sheet here I'll leave you with is also in the Google Doc, and you can look at this to see, well, I'm not sure, is this a classroom referral or an office referral? If you look at this sheet and also the one that talks about what I just told you in terms of the flow chart, both of those are in the Google Doc also. If you have any questions, let us know. All right, well, this is a special treat. Erin Creech happened to come along with her daughter Emily, who's here today at Spring Run, and they're going to help us out and introduce you to the PAUSE program. PAUSE is what we decided to use for our school-wide motto, and the motto is going to be for teachers, adults, and kids, and it stands for P is positive attitude, A is appropriate choices, W is work for success, and S is to show respect. We have a PAUSE poster that our team created for all of the areas around the school, and Mrs. Creech has volunteered to read to us each of the posters. So the first one is the cafeteria poster. Mrs. Creech, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
All right, when we're in the cafeteria, we're going to remember to sit in our assigned seats and table, speak kindly to others, take turns talking, throw away your trash in the garbage, use your table manners, say please and thank you, walk through the cafeteria line, eat only your food, use a level 1 voice inside, stay in your seat and raise your hand for help, keep your table clean,
Great, that's everything you have to know about the cafeteria. Let's hear next about the hallway. Mrs. Creech, tell us about the hallways.
When we're in the hallway, we're going to always look ahead, leave a space between friends, and smile. Line up quickly and quietly, use a level 0, no talking voice, walk in a line off the wall, pay attention to our teacher, keep your hands to your sides, and most importantly, keep the hallways clean.
Fantastic. Boy, that's showing respect. Okay, let's move on to the bathroom now, Mrs. Creech. Tell us about how the pause program works in the bathrooms.
All right, when we're in the bathroom, we are going to take turns and wait quietly. Use a level 1 whisper voice, keep the room clean, put trash in the can, wash your hands with soap and water, use the right amount of soap and towels, and don't forget to flush.
Excellent. The last stop on our tour is the classroom. We know so much goes on in our classrooms around school. So tell us how the pause program works in the classroom.
All right, in every classroom this year, we're going to take turns, do your best, work together, sit up straight, listen to the speaker, ask and answer questions, nod your head for understanding, track the speaker with your eyes.
Mrs. Creech, I'm going to interrupt you there just for a minute, because if you notice, those letters S-L-A-N-T spell a word called slant. And so if the teacher says to remember to slant, then the kids would remember to sit up straight, listen to the speaker, ask and answer questions, nod your head for understanding, and track the speaker with your eyes. Okay, Mrs. Creech, you can keep going.
All right, we're also going to be ready to learn, have your tools ready, accept responsibility for your actions, keep your desk and work area organized and clean, and stay in your hula hoop of space.
Fantastic. Mrs. Creech, it sounds like if you do all these things, you're in for a fantastic year. What do you think?
I think you're going to be very successful this year. Look forward to seeing you all.
All right. High five, Mrs. Creech.
High five.
Woo! Okay, so now I'm going to just share with you two wonderful resources that are activated on the computer on the internet. One of these both are wonderful places to go if I'm a classroom teacher or any kind of staff member in the school to find ideas where I am just struggling with behavior and I can't think of what to do next. The first of which is called pbisworld.com. pbisworld.com. This is a great one-stop shopping place for interventions that are tiered. For example, on here are tier 1 interventions of things you can do when you have a certain issue with the student. For example, I want some ideas about breaks, or how to give praise, or how to talk about consequences. This is wonderful because it goes on and on and on and on and talks about lots of different ideas as to what you can do to help kids out with strategies to see. The different tiers are in here, and you can just click on it and say, sorry, this is the home page. I should start here and say, okay, I've got a student who's aggressive or bullying, or one who's disorganized, or one who is frustrated, or has anxiety, or is disrespectful, or hyperactivity, disruptive, impulsive, defiant. This might sound like some kids that you've seen in the past. If so, just click on any one of these and you get ideas as to how to deal with it. For example, I click on anxiety and up pops the student may see about these kinds of things. And then you can see a description of the different kinds of things that a student would see, and then you can just click on them here's some common ideas, and does it describe the student, yes or no? If it does, you just click yes, and it takes you to some more information. And here are some interventions that you can have for anxiety. So, great tool to find for ideas in my classroom. I need help. I'm trying to find something to do. What can I do? Go to PBIS World. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay. Next up is more about responsive classroom. Okay, if you can't tell, I love responsive classroom and morning meeting. Ever since I was a 5th grade teacher, I have used responsive classroom in every school that I've worked in as a school-wide philosophy and have absolutely found it to be the most effective and proven way to have a school-wide plan or philosophy of how to work with kids. This is their website called www.responsiveclassroom.org. This is their homepage, and across the top you can see that they have an About section, which is great. Talks about all about responsive classroom, a resources section, a school district section. But right here, when I want to show you something cool, they have a blog. They have great ideas on how to make responsive classroom come alive for you, and they have a Pinterest page too for all your Pinterest fans. One of the best things I can tell you to do is to sign up to get their newsletter. Down here in the right-hand corner right here is a Get News From Us button. Put your email in there and they'll send you a monthly update that gives you just great little classroom ideas about what to do, and wonderful, wonderful stories are in here about it. Responsive Classroom, we're going to talk more about it all throughout the year. It's a great resource and what we use when we talk about morning meeting.